When you have a new startup, product or business idea that you want to pursue, it's important to quickly validate if it has any potential. Building a minimum viable product or MVP is a fast and cost-effective way to figure out if it makes sense to spend more time, resources and efforts on your idea. A minimum viable product is a structured experiment, code or no code, that helps you to successfully validate or invalidate the most riskiest assumptions of your idea while delivering acceptable value to your potential customers. So what it's not is a first release of a super basic product. An MVP is disposable and can be repeated in different setups until you reach a level of certainty or uncertainty where you can decide if the idea is something that you should pursue or not. The MVP experiment canvas is a practical framework that offers you a structured approach for designing and launching minimum viable products to validate your ideas. Follow this process step by step to turn your big idea into something you can test with real potential customers. Before narrowing down your big idea into a minimum viable product, it's important to sketch out an overview of your idea before you start. The simplest way to quickly do this is by using Strategizer's one-page business model canvas. The foundation of your MVP is a temporary combination of a value proposition, a segment from your bigger target audience, a distribution channel to reach that audience, and a way to establish a relationship with that audience. So that is where we start. 1. Your customer segment. Whose problem are you solving? Who are you providing value for? Here, we pick a segment from the larger group you're targeting with your big idea and think about who will experience the most value from your MVP experiment. But also, who can you learn from the most? 2. Value proposition. What are you offering them? Can you make it more specific for your chosen segment? Define what you're going to pitch and deliver to them. 3. Channels. How are you going to reach your chosen customer segment to pitch and deliver them your value proposition? The channel that works best depends on the segment that you chose. Pick one that does not cost too much time or money to get you results. 4. Customer engagement. How are you going to engage with the people who use your minimum viable product? Once you have delivered your value proposition, it's time to learn from their experience, gather feedback and establish a relationship to help you in the validation of your idea. These first 4 parts are the foundation of your MVP experiment. As mentioned before, an MVP is something that is repeatable and disposable. So whenever you want to change or tweak one of these 4 elements, you can do that at any time. Then we move on to number 5, riskiest assumptions. What do you need to test with your MVP that has this foundation? Which assumptions, if invalidated, will kill your idea? To minimize risk and costs, you have to find out if these assumptions are true as soon as possible. 6. Experiment format. What type of experiment are you going to run? Most MVPs are about the desirability of an idea. Do people want this? You can collect leads on the street or with a landing page, do pre-sales, show a fake door on your website, do a Wizard of Oz or concierge test, and more. 7. Scenario and workflow. How will your MVP work? What are the steps your customer and you have to take? Describe them from beginning to end. Most MVP flows are not sustainable or scalable for the long run, but that's okay. 8. Metrics. What are the metrics you want to measure? Measuring more than one can help you find surprising evidence about your riskiest assumptions. Think visits, clicks, conversions, views, number of interviews, etc. 9. Success criteria. You can measure more than one metric, but only select one metric that defines your experiment's success. How will you qualify or quantify a successful outcome? After deciding on your success criteria, it's time to set up, build and launch your MVP through your chosen channels and run the experiment in order to gather data, insights and look at your metrics. 10. Results. When your experiment is ended, it is time to gather its qualitative and/or quantitative results. This is where you describe what happened. How many customers did you test with? What data did you collect? This is also where you refer back to your metrics. 11. Learnings and insights. With the results gathered, it's time to analyze them. What are your key learnings? What are your key surprises? Did anything happen that you did not expect? Did you get enough results? And what do they tell you about your riskiest assumptions? 12. Next steps. What do the results tell you to do next? Should you pivot, go in another direction? Should you pursue, go in the same direction? Or should you stop with your idea? So with the MVP experiment canvas, you can easily construct the elements and document the learnings of your minimum viable product in one complete overview. It's suitable for entrepreneurs, product managers, corporate innovators, and anyone who wants to launch an MVP to validate a new startup, product, or business idea. You can find an extensive how-to guide and download the canvas for free at themvpcanvas.com.